Hi, I'm Lucas Gilkey with Hometown Hero, and today we're going to talk about hemp state and federal regulations, what they look like, what the differences are, and kind of where we're going from here. Thanks for joining us. So in 2014, the federal government actually passed a farm bill. It's the lesser known. Most people know about the 2018 farm bill, but there was actually a 2014 farm bill. The 2014 farm bill was not as expansive as the 2018 one, and in December of 2018, the farm bill was really expanded to allow research and development. Now, nobody knew where this was going to end up, and it was just under the hopes that this industry would start to thrive, and it has. So, what has happened since the 2018 farm bill? The research and development that's come out of hemp has been incredible. A lot of the experts say there's something like 130 cannabinoids in cannabis. So, don't forget, and we've mentioned this in other videos, you've got hemp, which is less than 0.3% delta 9 THC by dry weight. You've got marijuana, which is greater than 0.3% delta 9 THC by dry weight basis. But in nature, it's the same plant. It's all cannabis. It's all cannabis. It's all the same plant. So the research that the hemp industry is doing right now in finding these new cannabinoids and developing these new products and doing all this different stuff is actually benefiting the marijuana industry, which I've seen. If you go into dispensaries now, you see products with Delta 8, you see products with CBN, with CBG, all this different stuff. And so, you've got these new sets of products that are entering the marijuana market because of what the hemp industry has done, which is, in my opinion, it's absolutely incredible. And I love to see that. And I love to see the hemp industry sort of leading the way. So once the 2018 federal farm bill was passed, it essentially gave each state the ability to create their own hemp laws. So typically what happened, most states took the outline of the 2018 farm bill, they adapted it for their own state, and then submitted it to the USDA for approval. And of course, the USDA would approve it because it essentially matches what they had already done. The FDA was given the ability to regulate these products through the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. And to date, the FDA largely has stayed away from the markets of marijuana and cannabis, despite they have already sent some letters as of December of last year to different companies saying that there's an issue with them using THC or CBD or other cannabinoids in food products. So that is something right now that the industry is aware of and dealing with, and the FDA doesn't seem like they're super intent on enforcing it and on pushing it, but it is something that everybody needs to be aware of. Now, don't forget, in 2018, before the federal farm bill was passed, the FDA actually approved a CBD-based pharmaceutical pill. So there has been research done, there has been a pharmaceutical pill approved, and that is concerning because it means Big Pharma has an interest in essentially what we're doing. And Big Pharma is, they're very powerful. They have more lobbyists than really anybody. And so it is something that we need to be aware of as an industry and understand that we may have to fight back against Big Pharma at some point. But as of right now, it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. Most states created a hemp program and submitted it to the USDA. And in most cases, it modeled what the USDA had already done. So it was a pretty simple approval process. Now, the really cool thing about what the USDA did with the hemp program was it allowed interstate commerce. And it pretty aggressively allowed interstate commerce between hemp and all the derivatives and all the isomers. So this is what allows the hemp industry to transport product to different states and ship product to consumers in different states. And it's actually one of the best parts of this regulation. We aren't limited to a state-by-state basis like the marijuana industry. So you've got states like Texas who also saw the path forward and saw where this was going, and they created a consumable hemp program. Now, it's not perfect, right? In Texas, we had a smokable ban that was a part of the consumable hemp program, and there's lawsuits in that, and that's been ongoing for years now. But other than that, it was a really good program, and Texas actually did a really good job, and I'm really proud of them in the way that they did this because they had the foresight to understand sort of where this was going and allow the industry to thrive and grow. Now, really the only problem with the state level regulations on hemp is the inconsistency. We have a multitude of different states with different packaging requirements, different regulatory requirements, different registration requirements. There is no consistency among the states, and as we're going through legislative sessions now, they're even changing more. So that's really the only complaint that we have around the state level based regulations around hemp is there's just not a lot of consistency. Now, is that something we can fix in the future? Hopefully, yes. You know, as the Farm Bill evolves and as different things evolve, we can try through legislative sessions and start to consolidate what these regulations look like on a state level basis. But as of right now, it really is a sort of, you know, patchwork of regulations, and trying to figure it out can be a bit much sometimes. So the consumable hemp market has exploded. My guess is now we've probably got about 10,000 companies producing hemp products, whether they have CBD or THC or a combination of cannabinoids. There's a lot of companies, and I love to see that. It means we're making progress. Now, this video, you know, we've really talked about sort of, you know, some issues we're dealing with as an industry, right? Regulatory and federal and state levels, and trying to figure all this out and make sense of it. But at the end of the day, this is an industry that didn't exist really as early as, you know, 5 years ago. So the 2018 Farm Bill opened the door and allowed this industry to start thriving. And I mentioned it when I had Rod up here. You know, growing up as a kid, there was times where it was illegal to have hemp clothing or like a hemp fanny pack or like hemp anything. And now we're at the point where we're actually able to sell and consume legal hemp products. Many of them have THC or other cannabinoids that have effects, which is incredible. The amount of people now that have access to these products is really the greatest it's ever been in the history of this country. So, you know, we are making progress. I know there's a lot of tough issues we're talking about in this video, but the reality of it is this industry exists and we've got a path forward and we're making progress. And now that we're getting bigger and we're involving lobbyists and we're involving legislators and all these different people, there's a very, very bright future ahead for this industry, and we're very proud to be a part of it. We love working with everybody and just trying to help out the industry and make sure that everybody understands what's going on. As always, love you guys, happy hunting, and thank you for joining us.